boosting high-quality development of the ministry's work. Let's listen in.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the SCAO press conference. Today we're holding the 24th press conference under the theme of Embarking on the New Journey. We are happy to have invited Minister of Civil Affairs, Mr. Tang Dengjie, to brief us on promoting the high-quality development of civil affairs work and take your questions. Today we also have with us Vice Minister of Civil Affairs, Mr. Zhan Chengfu, spokesperson and DG of the General Office of the Ministry of Civil Affairs, MCA, Mr. Li Baojun, DG of the Department of Social Assistance of the MCA, Mr. Liu Xitang, DG of the Department of Elderly Service of the MCA, Mr. Yu Jianliang. Now let's welcome Mr. Tang Dengjie. Ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, we are very happy to meet with you all and to brief you on the situation of our study and implementation of the spirit of the 20th CPC National Congress. First, on behalf of the MCA, I would like to thank you for long-standing care about and support for civil affairs work. Civil affairs concerns people's livelihood. It is critical for the people and is the basic and fundamental work for social development. Since the 18th CPC National Congress, the CPC Central Committee attaches great importance to civil affairs work. We have received a series of important deployments, and we have made historical achievements to serve the grand picture of development. The 20th CPC National Congress has drawn a blueprint for building a modern socialist country in all aspects and made a decision to advance the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation through Chinese modernization and put forward the major mission of improving people's well-being and raising quality of people's life, which gives civil affairs departments a more glorious historical responsibility on the new journey. Since the beginning of this year, civil affairs departments at all levels have fully implemented the deployments of the 20th CPC National Congress, carried out in-depth thematic education of Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics in the new era. We have followed the instructions and requirements to bear in mind all the instructions and knowledge to open up high-quality development in the new era. First, we focusing on enhancing people's well-being and promoting common prosperity and fulfilling function of providing a safety net for people with special difficulties. We bear in mind General Secretary Xi's request for extra attention for people with special difficulties. We follow the guidelines of ensuring basic protection, covering the bottom line, providing emergency relief, and ensure sustainability. We have trying to establish a multi-tiered social assistance system to safeguard the basic living of people with special difficulties. This year, we will expand the scope of subsistence allowance and strengthen assistance for people on the margin of allowance and people with fixed spending financial difficulties. We will promote temporary assistance on places where difficulties occur and link government and social assistance. We will uplift the children well-being facilities capabilities and strengthen targeted management of living subsidies for people with disabilities. We aim to ensure that the basic lives of the people are being safeguarded. Second, we implement the national strategy to address population aging and develop elderly care services. The 20th National Congress of the CBC has made arrangements to address aging and to promote basic elderly care services for senior citizens. This year's reform of party and state institutions has strengthened the responsibility of civil affairs departments for comprehensive coordination, supervision, and guidance in this regard. Civil affairs departments at all levels have fully implemented this deployment, focusing on meeting the basic elderly service needs, accelerating the construction of a service system that features clear rights and responsibilities, appropriate protection, sustainability. We strive to enhance the sense of gain, happiness, and security of the senior citizens. This year, we focus on implementing institutional reforms to guide local governments to formulate and implement lists of basic elderly care services and support them to enhance home and community-based elderly care services, carry out aging-friendly renovation for elderly people with special difficulties, and support elderly care institutions to add more nursing beds. We also support work in this regard in rural areas and strengthen elderly care service personnel teams. We have enhanced social governance and public services to better serve high-quality development. We have improved the system of support and guidance for social organizations and their supervision and management. We have guided social organizations to pair up and help 160 key countries of rural revitalization, helped with college employment, and pushed trade associations to reduce burden on enterprises. We have deployed a special action to rectify illegal social organizations and further let social organizations serve the enterprises, the people, and the industry. On development of charity, we have held the 12th China Charity Award Commendation Conference, improve policies and measures to promote public charity and guide more enterprises, social organizations, and individuals to participate in public charity. On public services, we have accelerated of integrated government service platform for civil affairs. We push forward the cross-provincial pilot program for registration of marriages, pushed forward the online and fingertip social assistance services to better serve the people. Embarking on a new journey, civil affairs departments at all levels will firmly advocate to establish this act on the two upholds, study Xi Jinping thought on socialism with China's characteristics in the new era, fully implement General Secretary Xi's important instructions and the Central Committee's deployment on civil works, and always bear in mind the larger picture so that high-quality development of civil affairs can help build a modern socialist country in all aspects. That's all about the briefing part. Next, my colleagues and I would like to take your questions. Thank you. Thanks for the briefing. Now you can raise questions. Please identify your news outlet before raising questions. Thanks. This May, the institutional reform has optimized the system to tackle population aging and strengthen the responsibility of the MCA. With increasing aging population, what are the MCA's plans for developing undertakings for the aged and elderly care services? Thanks for the question, and thanks for care for elderly care services. It is aging is a problem faced by many countries, and it is something we must tackle to advance Chinese modernization. Since the 18th National Congress, we attached great importance to the aging issue, and we have proactively tackled this aging problem to fully implement the tasks and missions, providing scientific guidance for work in this regard in this new era. The 20th CPC National Congress points out that we will pursue a proactive national strategy in response to population aging, develop elderly care programs and services, and provide better services for elderly people who live alone, so that we can ensure the basic elderly care is accessible to the entire elderly population. The reform of party and state institutions clarifies the need to improve the system. It assigns the responsibility to guide and rectify measures to the MCA. It is an important deployment made by the CPC Central Committee. We realize that we have huge responsibilities. We will seize the opportunities of the 14th five-year plan and advance the development of elderly works from the following three perspectives to forge a way of tackling aging problem with Chinese characteristics. First, we will strengthen the party's leadership over elderly care to improve the elderly care work system. We will fully give the leading role of the party in the elderly work scope. We will invite the participation of different departments at different levels to do a good job in the elderly work. We will strengthen the Office of the National Working Committee on Aging guiding role in this regard, and make sure that the affairs of the elderly people can be tackled and managed by departments. We will incorporate the elderly work into the development and planning of local governments, incorporate this work into our service for the general public, and provide support for the elderly work. Second, we will implement the CPC Central Committee and State Council's development in this regard to ensure elderly people can be properly supported, enjoy medical care, engage in lifelong learning, and lead contributive and happy lives. We will improve social assistance system, improve the pension scheme, and develop a multi-layered, multi-tiered pension scheme. We will also improve the health support system to constantly elevate the level of health management for elderly people. We will incorporate home-based, community-based services and enhance the community-based services and aging-friendly renovation projects. We will accelerate county, township, village, three-tiered rural service networks and support the development of rural aid for the elderly. Third, we will encourage the whole society to participate in the elderly work and incorporate this philosophy into the development of our society. We will educate the whole public to have a positive view on an aging society, so that we can forge great consensus in proactively tackling the aging problem. We will improve policies and implement policies to guide elderly people to contribute to the society. Thanks, Phoenix TV. The report of the 20th Party Congress proposed to improve the basic public service system and raise the level of public service. What have the MCA done in this regard? Thanks for your question. Civil works is closely related to life and livelihoods. The 20th CPC National Congress requests to improve the basic public service system, adopt more measures to deliver real benefits to the people and win their approval, and work hard to resolve the pressing difficulties of the people. Civil Affairs departments continue to improve management services and improve our ability to serve the people. I will invite the Vice Minister to give you elaborations on this. As the Minister Tang has said, in recent years, Civil Affairs departments at all levels continue to improve our management services to serve enterprises and people. We have a combination of measures to better serve the people, and the effect of such measures have been released. For example, on social assistance, we have launched measures to shorten the procedures for registration. On elderly care services, we have carried out elderly-oriented house renovation for elderly people with special difficulties to make their lives safer and more convenient. On service for people with mental disorders, we initiated a special action to better serve their rehabilitation needs in the community and help them return to their family and integrate into the society. On services for people with disabilities, we have launched rental services of rehabilitation equipment to benefit more people in needs. On management of marriage registration, this year we have increased the cross-provincial pilots for mainland citizens from 7 provinces to 21 provinces, covering 78.5% of our total population. Now we meet most of the needs for marriage registration in different places. On the welfare of people with disabilities, we have implemented cross-provincial application for 2 subsidies. We also have cross-provincial services for identification and application of orphans and de facto orphans. At the same time, we carried out activities in the rural area, including Internet plus place names, to help with people's traveling and facilitate rural revitalization. We also carried out a special action to reduce the burden on enterprises, clear away illegal fees charged by trade associations, and fully standardized all the legal and reasonable fees. We have reduced the burden on enterprises by about 1.8 billion yuan, stimulating more vitality from market entities. General Secretary Xi said that the mission of the CPC is to serve the people and deliver better lives for people day by day and year after year. Our work still has a long distance to go to meet General Secretary Xi's expectation and people's needs. We will continue to improve civil affairs services to bring people more sense of gain and happiness. And please supervise us and support our work. Thank you. Please continue to raise questions. Thanks, China News Agency. We noted that for the first time, the 20th CPC National Congress makes advancing the rule of law a single chapter for elaboration, fully demonstrating its importance. So what progress has the MCA made in this regard? What will be the next step? Thanks for your question. Studying and implementing Xi Jinping thoughts on rule of law and implement the deployment of President Xi is an important requirement for us to carry out civil work. The rule of law can safeguard the fundamentals, stabilize expectations, and facilitate long-term interests. In recent years, we follow the guidance of Xi Jinping thought on the rule of law and fully implement the spirit of the 20th CPC National Congress. We have made progress. We have made achievements in the following three aspects: legislation, law enforcement, and popularization. In terms of legislation, the MCA focusing on basic livelihood protection, primary level social governance, and basic social services. We has pushed forward the revision of 6 laws, and we have taken the lead to draft 4 drafts for review and revision of the law. And individually or jointly with the relevant departments, the MCA has also drafted 6 departmental rules and regulations. Currently, at the national level, there are 9 laws, 18 regulations, and 45 MCA regulations, and more than 170 normative documents regulating the functions of civil affairs, together with over 800 local laws and regulations. Civil works has an overall legal basis. At the same time, there still lacks supporting legislation in some areas, and some policies are not yet in line with the new requirements of the new era. Legislation in these areas will be our future priority. In terms of law enforcement, the MCA has streamlined administrative licensing matters and cancelled reference check set out in regulations and other documents. We have rectified illegal activities to promote law-based administration. We will follow the 20th CPC National Congress and start from our realities to fully perform our lawful duties, fully manage lists of rights and liabilities, and enhance our law-based governance capacity. In terms of popularization of the law, in recent years, we have completed the 7th five-year plan and formulated the 8th five-year plan. We have held constitutional oath-taking activities for newly appointed officials and focused its activities on the Constitution, the Chinese Civil Code, among other laws. Our next step is to continue increasing our efforts to popularize the law while guiding our officials and workers to respect and abide by the law. We will focus on hot spots and difficult issues, including the elderly people, people with disabilities, protection of minors. We will make every effort to popularize law in a targeted manner for the public good.
谢谢。封面新闻记者提问：社会组织是我国现代化建设的
Social organizations is an important force for building a modern socialist country. Currently, there are about 900,000 social organizations in this country. What we will do to promote the high-quality development of social organizations?
Thank you for your question. Social organizations are important forces for our country's building. The party has led the orderly development of social organizations, and made them play a positive role, but also diffusing the risk posed by some organizations, and continue to advance high-quality development of social organizations. Relevant information can be provided by Mr. Vice Minister. Just like what Minister said, in our country, we have with us 900,000 social organizations. These organizations cover almost all aspects of our economy and society. Specifically speaking, among these 900,000 organizations, there are social groups that amount to 374,000. And it also includes 513,000 private non-enterprise units. For example, the private kindergarten and schools. It also includes about 10,000 foundations, and covers over 11 million people in the industry, with a total asset of over 580 billion yuan. Social organizations have played an important role in building a moderately prosperous society, and especially in the fight against absolute poverty. They have made important contributions. Since the start of this year, all levels of civil affairs departments have deeply implemented the important instructions by General Secretary Xi on social organizational work and the important decisions set forth in the 20th National Congress report. We have aimed at high-quality development, and by way of restructuring, with the aim to serve the country and the society, taken a series of measures and have helped all kinds and all levels of social organizations to make new contributions in building a strong, great country and national rejuvenation. So these measures can be summarized in at least 5 aspects. First, keeping to the right direction. We have committed to use Xi Jinping thought on socialism and Chinese characteristics for a new era to unify thoughts, wills, and actions, and uphold and strengthen the overall leadership of the party on social organizations' work, and have coordinated the party's work and party's organization on social organizations, and make sure that the social organizations can follow the leadership of the party and can travel far and well on the path of social organizations' work with Chinese characteristics. Second, we have built institutional support. We will work with all departments and improve the implementation of various policies to set up service procurement, tax reduction, and talent support to incentivize their internal development forces. Third, we will give full play to the role of social organizations. We will mobilize industry associations and chambers of commerce to support national economic development and modernization. We will galvanize institutes and research associations to support scientific and technological innovation, education, and talent building. We will call on social service organizations to support public services and call on environmental organizations to support the building of a beautiful China. And we will also mobilize charity organizations to devote to charity work under new circumstances. And recently, we have encouraged social organizations at the national level and in the eastern region to establish 160 pairs of assistance with counties under the Rural Revitalization Program, and these actions have won wide acclaim. Many of the reporters and media friends present today have reported these actions. Fourth, we will improve regulation and oversight. We will improve the data platform of social organizations' credits for better transparency and credibility of social organizations. We will faithfully perform our duties on registry, annual inspection, evaluation, credit management, oversight on compliance, and other duties, so as to help social organizations improve their internal governance and continue to strengthen their self-discipline on their own initiative. Fifth, we will create an enabling social environment. We will create more effective incentives and select a group of exemplary social organizations to serve as role models for high-quality development. We will coordinate development and security, continue to remove zombie-like organizations, and crack down hard on illegal social organizations and create a clean ecosystem for their growth. These are some of the measures that we have done since the start of this year. Thank you. Next question, please. Thank you. The report of the 20th Party Congress proposes to improve a multi-tiered and categorical social assistance system. As an important department responsible for these actions, what new measures will be taken to provide people with a safety net?
I will invite the DG of Social Assistance to answer a question. In recent years, the Civil Affairs Department have studied and implemented the important instructions of General Secretary Xi. Following the approach of categorized difficulties and assistance and dynamic monitoring and early warning, we have worked with relevant departments to improve social assistance system and have strengthened the dynamic monitoring and normalized assistance of the low-income population. We want to accelerate the formation of a system that is mainly about basic living assistance, specialized social assistance, and emergency social assistance. So it would be comprehensive, multi-tiered, and categorized. First, improve basic living assistance system. We build a mechanism for proactive identification, focusing on providing assistance to those in difficulty. We will identify families on the margins of low-income security and incorporate people with severe illness or disabilities from such families into the system. We will timely adjust allowance standards according to economic and social development. By the end of June this year, urban and rural allowance standards have risen by 4.8% and 8.5% respectively. From January to June, a cumulative total of 126.5 billion yuan has been spent on allowance. Second, strengthen platform building for dynamic monitoring of low-income population nationwide. The platform will dynamically monitor low-income people in extreme poverty, as well as other people with difficulty as determined by local government. We will establish a mechanism to share information with departments, including education, medical care, among other departments, so as to strengthen monitoring and early warning. Third, improve comprehensive assistance and support mechanisms. We work with relevant departments to conduct studies to clarify policies on assistance for families on the margin of allowance and families with fixed spending difficulties. We will improve policies and systems according to the targeted groups, assistance types, and overall coverage and effectiveness. We will fully implement temporary assistance from the places where emergencies occur, strengthen the connection between government assistance and charitable support, and support public participation in social assistance. The MCA has recently made deployments in this regard. Fourth, continue to reform social assistance system. Aiming at achieving common prosperity, we will strengthen research on social assistance policies launch pilots in such areas as service-type social assistance, allowance, application at places of residence, and so forth. We will sum up experiences and practices timely and introduce policies at appropriate time. Continue to improve the multi-tiered and categorized social assistance system to give people in need a greater sense of gain. This May, guidelines for facilitating the building of the basic elderly care system was released. What are the progress has been made and what will be the next step?
Thank you for your question. It is a very good question. Now, in the previous questions, we already introduced to you the overall situation of our elderly work. Basic elderly service is to make sure that all elderly people can enjoy safety net elderly care. Now, for the specifics, I will invite Mr. Liu to give us an answer. Mr. Yu to give us an answer. It is put forth in the report of the 20th National Congress that we need to ensure the basic elderly care is accessible to the elderly population. And in May this year, a guideline for facilitating the building of a basic elderly care system was released to the public. It is a symbol that the system building of our basic elderly care is now in a new era. Now, since the start of this year, the ministry has done the following work and has garnered much progress. First, we have encouraged subnational regions to accelerate institutional design of basic elderly care. We focused on launching implementation plans and a list of basic elderly care in local regions. We encourage and guide subnational regions' work, help them speed up efforts for better institutional design of basic elderly care at the provincial level. Currently, many provinces have already rolled out their implementation plans, and the rest of the provinces are catching up in improving and releasing these measures. And some localities have made more breakthroughs on their capacity on elderly care that are suited to their provincial realities. Second, we have continued to increase our capacity to provide basic elderly care. We work with the NDRC to implement a program in response to an aging population in 2023. We allocate funds from the central government budget to support the facilities of basic elderly care. We work with the Ministry of Finance to implement a program to improve basic elderly care at home-based and community-based basic elderly care in 2023, and build home-based care beds, nursing beds for eligible elderly people with special difficulties or disabilities, and provide door-to-door elderly care services to them. We work with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Rural Development to build elderly care facilities in tandem with the new residential areas and improve the layout of these elderly care facilities. Third, we have made sure that basic elderly care projects are delivered and make sure that aging-friendly in-home renovation are implemented for elderly person with special difficulties. We've also improved old age allowance, elderly care service subsidies, and other relevant subsidies policies. And we work to bring the services to people's homes and step up efforts to help local regions to pay visits to care for elderlies. And going forward, the ministry will continue to implement the guidelines with greater force. First, We will make sure that provinces that have not yet released the implementation plans will roll out these policies, these plans, by the end of the year. And second, we will make sure that the programs listed on the national and provincial basic elderly care service list can be implemented and delivered. Third, we'll continue to improve the system of provision, support, oversight, and dynamic adjustment of the basic elderly care system, and make sure that the data of service receivers and services are collected, nationally recognized, and shared, and strive to make basic elderly care that cover all elderly people. Thank you. Next question, please.
谢谢主持人，香港紫金杂志记者提问。党的20大报告提出要保障妇女儿童合法
Thank
权
you.
益。
The report of the 20th National Congress have proposed that we need to ensure the rights and interests of women and children. What are some of the measures of the ministry in this aspect, and what are the effects? Now, I will invite Mr. Fu, Vice Minister Fu, to give us Vice Minister Zhang to give us a briefing. We know that General Secretary Xi attaches great importance to the rights and interests of women and children and have made many important instructions thereof. He emphasized that we need to care for and help children in families with difficulties, especially orphans and children with disabilities, and make sure that all children can enjoy a happy childhood. The report of the 20th National Congress put forth the important major task of ensuring the lawful rights and interests of women and children. The Civil Affairs departments of all levels faithfully studied and implemented the important instructions of General Secretary Xi and the important decisions put forth in the 20th National Congress report, and specify our respective duties in this aspect. Put people's interests as our priority and take effective measures to ensure the rights and interests of children with difficulties. And we have struck notable outcome in this aspect. They can be grouped into the 4 areas. First, we have the living standards of orphans of these children continue to rise. The living standards of orphans and de facto unattended children are raised. Orphans refer to the children without parents, and de facto unattended children refers to those children who, although they have parents, but their parents do not have the ability to work or to care for their children and cannot carry out their duties to care for the children. So these children are included in our allowance policies. And we link their living standards with the price levels. And that means when the prices go up, their living standards, their subsidy standards will also go up, so that these children can live without livelihood worries and enjoy a happy life. That fully demonstrates the merits of the socialist system that we have in China. Second, the post-treatment recovery and education services were enhanced. A recovery plan for orphans were implemented using public welfare lottery fund of various levels to help fund these children's operation and post-operation recovery. These actions have helped the children to alleviate their health problems and assist with their healthy and sound development. An education program for orphans were also implemented using the National Public Welfare Lottery Fund to help fund these children's vocational and higher educations, to make sure that the children can go to school without worries. Third, the children's welfare institutions were upgraded. We have worked with the State Commission Office of Public Sectors Reform and National Development and Reform Commission to issue documents on improving and upgrading children's welfare institutions and pursue integrated development of nursery, medical care, education and social work, and mental health for children, to provide better conditions for the children's growth. Now, going forward, we will build on the current progress and focus on the following 3 priorities that I will brief you now. First, we will focus more on targeted support. We will bear in mind the basic rights and interests of orphans and de facto unattended children and take targeted measures and coordinate well collective as well as individual needs. We need to both coordinate collective needs and special groups' individual needs and continue to raise their sense of fulfillment and security and happiness. Secondly, we will focus more on all-round development. That is to say that apart from ensuring their basic lives, we will provide them more care for their mental care and provide more support for their self-development. We will improve measures for education and schooling, mental health, and caring and self-development, and to help these children develop in all respects, in their morality, in their wisdom, in physical strength, and in their ability to perform work. Third, we will focus more on providing professional services. We will organize campaigns to provide more targeted management and services at welfare institutions and provide more specialized caring services, strengthen capacity building in recovery, improve special education, and provide professional social worker services to provide better care and support for children in their healthy and safe development. Now, I wish to call on our friends from the press to utilize the role that you can play and on all people who care for the children to go to visit the children in welfare institutions. We would like to see more volunteers participate in this cause and help these children with their healthy development. These will be great help and support to our work. Thank you. Next question, please. Thank you. Geographical names are basic public information, and last year the State Council released the amended regulations on the management of geographical names. What are the measures that the Ministry has taken to implement the regulations, and what are the next steps? Thank you for the care you have taken to geographical names. Now, I wish to invite Mr. Li Baojun to give us an answer. Now, I will brief you on the implementation work of the regulations. In 1986, the State Council have rolled out the regulation on the management of geographical names. In the past 30 years, the scope, the task, the modality, and the context of the management of geographical names have all seen new changes. The CPC Central Committee and the State Council attached great importance to this work, and the State Council have amended the regulations. It has been implemented since May the 1st, this last year. The Ministry has been implementing the newly amended regulations and improving the geographical names management to make it more science-based, rule-based, and standardized in at least 3 areas of work. First, we have improved the mechanism of geographical names management. We have formulated and promulgated measures on the filing and notice of geographical names. And we have advanced implementation measures of regulations and standards of the pronunciation of geographical names and the amendment of national and industry standards. We have improved a unified oversight and graded accountability system and make sure that all departments and subnational authorities take care of their respective duties. Second, we have continued to improve management services. We have standardized the rules and procedures for naming and renaming of geographical places and established a unified national platform for filing and noticing of geographical names. We have continued to standardize geographical names, including their spelling and translation. We have continued to update the National Geographical Names database. We've also have organized programs in rural areas related to geographical names, and that has led our work in protecting geographical names in rural region and promoting the culture embodied in these names. We've also sent delegations to attend sessions of the UN Group of Experts on Geographical Names to communicate our progress and to strengthen international cooperation in this aspect. Third, we have better protected and carried forward the culture embodied in these geographical names. We advocate that the names should reflect elements of the socialist core values, fine traditional Chinese culture, revolutionary history, advanced socialist culture. We have also implemented the requirements in the regulations and enhanced studies on the protection of the culture embodied in the geographical names. We've set up a list of geographical names with historical and cultural significance that needs protection. We work with the TV program Behind the Names, produced by CCTV, and organize various activities to promote geographical names and explore new ways to better protect and spread the culture behind these names. Going forward, we continue to implement the regulations on the management of geographical names and continue to improve our capacity of relevant management. Continue to step up efforts to promote geographical names and their protection, to assist with rural revitalization, serve economic and social development, and better pass on our fine traditional Chinese culture. Next question, please. That is the final question. My question is that the society has been paying great attention to charity, and what are the ministry's follow-up measures to promote charity, high-quality development? Thank you. Charity is a work with wide participation and with great moral significance. As you said, the society is paying greater attention to charity and are participating more widely in it. It is estimated that the registered charitable organization nationally exceed 13,000. Charitable donation saw a steady increase, and the system of charity continued to improve. The culture of doing charity strike roots in people's hearts. Charity has played a positive role in poverty alleviation, pandemic response, rural revitalization, disaster relief, and medical assistance. And this September the 5th is the 8th China Charity Day, and we have organized an awards ceremony of the Chinese Charity Day in the Great Hall of the People, and many charitable programs, role models, enterprises, and individuals, and charity teams were awarded. And many of the friends from the press today have reported the event, and it has received warm public response. So I wish to offer my big thanks. So when building a great country and pursuing rejuvenation, charity is of utmost importance. We need to guide organizations and individuals with capacities to participate in charity. And going forward, we will continue to implement well the guiding principles of the report of the 20th National Congress and focus on the following aspects. First, we need to keep the right direction of charity work. We will uphold and strengthen the overall leadership of the party, make sure that we put people at the center, and make sure the charity organizations answer the call of the party and keep to the right direction of the work. We will focus on special groups with difficulties and make sure that the public resources can be directed to the people in need. We will improve capacity and institutional building and improve our policies. We will coordinate charity with primary distribution and redistribution and support social organizations, companies with capacities and will to participate in charity work, and promote the fine traditional Chinese spirit of helping each other at times of difficulties. We will organize China Charity Day events, award ceremonies at all levels, and charity exhibitions to champion role models in charity, expand new ways for participation, and increase the use of digital technology in charity, and to build a good environment where everyone can participate in charity everywhere. We also need to make sure that charity is transparent. We need to improve the internal governance and self-discipline of the industry and build a modern charity system. This is called a sunshine program. We encourage the public and the media to supervise the industry and to encourage organizations to disclose their information in a comprehensive, genuine, and accurate way, so as to increase their transparency and credibility. So that is my answer to your question, and I also wish to thank our friends from the press for paying great attention to our work. Thank you very much. Thank you, Minister Tang. And we thank all the panelists. That is the end of today's press conference.